Namaste yogis, good evening. Welcome to Yoga Life. If you're lying down, please don't let me disturb you. Just stay as you are. My name is Tania. I'm here to guide you through a 60-minute yin yoga practice that will be very slow and quiet. And tonight we are going to focus on the side body as our target area. So you can expect to feel the practice through your edges, outer hips, outer thighs, all through and up the side of your torso as well. And for those of you practicing at home, the playlist is called Yin Yoga Love Song Safe, and you will need your yoga props, bolster, block, and blanket to help you to ease into the postures. So we are starting lying on our backs. I'm just coming into more of a neutral place and space. Before you get too comfy or settled, unless you already are, I'm going to invite you to take your yoga block and bring it onto the medium edge and just place it to the base of the skull for some occipital rolling. If you're comfortable and you don't want to disturb yourselves, you can leave this part out and just stay in Shavasana. So if you've decided to place the block to the base of the skull, you might want to bend up your knees, bring the feet onto the earth. And we are going to start with some myofascial release, just rolling from side to side, left ear to right ear. And you're starting to feel out the terrain. The base of the skull is often where tension headaches begin. It is the site of gallbladder acupressure points, particularly gallbladder 20, it's below the ear. This point is known as the wind pool. And as you roll across the base of the skull, you are helping to harmonize chi along this meridian pathway, but also release a little bit of tension from the back of your neck and back of your head. And for me, the rolling action always works to calm the nervous system, helping you to unplug from your day, and starting to create a bridge between your doing, busy, active lives into more of a space of health and healing, of well-being, of wellness. And if you haven't got a block or you haven't placed a block under your head, you might just want to start to roll your head from right to left a few times so that you can release a bit of tension through your neck and also add that movement, that back and forth, that swaying to help your nervous system to gently drop in. Those of you rolling, encouraging you to take about 8 or so more breaths. If you're newer to yin or you haven't been to my classes before, please just know this is a safe space to ask questions. So if you need me, call me over. But otherwise, I'll tend to leave you alone to find your own way into your body. And tension often gathers and percolates around our neck and shoulders throughout the day. I'm seeing if you can drop yourself into presence. apply this self-healing technique. So you can discontinue the rolling, come back to the center, and maybe lower the block down onto the shorter edge or take it out altogether. You might want to stretch your legs out in front. We're just going to lie for a few moments in a rebound or resonance pose, so as to integrate that first bit of work. And the rebound is a still space, a quiet space for you to rest and to digest. And take about 5 or so breaths. And then when you're ready, wiggle fingers and toes. You can float the arms up above you to stretch out. You might even notice the side body as you stretch long. Bending knees, hug them into chest, give yourselves a little cuddle, a squeeze. You can go for a roll onto your favorite side, just noticing if you've rolled right or left. And make your way up toward a comfortable seat. The right side is typically the yang side of our bodies, masculine. The left typically yin. We're going to set up for a seated forward fold. I'm going to give you 3 options with your legs. As you come into a forward fold, you might want to sit onto a blanket just to help your hips to tilt forward a little. So that could work, just folding the blanket. It's a nice soft prop. Sliding it underneath your sitting bones. Option 1 is butterfly, soles of feet together, knees wide. You can have the heels quite far away from your groin. So as you fold forward, you feel the sensation to the outer hips, inner thighs, back of spine. If your knees are high, you might want to come into seated squat. So you could bring the soles of feet onto the earth, knees up, and fold through the gap. Or you might prefer the dragonfly. It's a wide V shape with your legs. And as you fold forward, you might want to add some props to support your belly or your head or your chest. So you choose which shape you prefer. There's no right or wrong, but there will be one that probably feels more natural in your body, more easeful. So again, the butterfly, the seated squat, or the dragonfly. And then you want to relax the muscles through your legs. Soften your sitting bones. Relax your feet. Just let them flop, be heavy. Relax your belly. Soften your shoulders and your chest so you're not straining or forcing the body in any way. In our forward folds and in, you can have rounded shoulders. And as you come into the pose, know that we're going to hold for time. So we'll be at least 3.5 minutes. This is where the props might come in handy. So you could add them to support you to hold the pose more comfortably and consciously for that longer period of time. In this instance, we're using the forward fold to prepare our bodies for some deeper work. Pay attention to the spine, the spaces in between your vertebrae. This where you feel restricted, where it feels maybe dark, closed off. And the parts of you that feel more open and spacious. This is opposed to neutralize, to harmonize, to bring you back to center. We have about 2 minutes left. As you enter your final minute of the shape, is the body inviting you deeper? Could you soften, yield, go in? Or is it asking you to pull back? Have you come too far? Can you encourage your breath to expand? Just the exhale becoming longer. Take about 5 more breaths. And come out really slowly, lifting your body, your head, your shoulders, your chest. And start to make your way to lie down. Move props out of the way. You might want to help your legs to stretch out. They could feel quite tender, achy, fragile, stiff. Even the space at the front of the hips that has been contracted. As you come to lengthen, the blood, the breath, the chi flushes into those spaces. And as you lie back, just noticing the tenderness, the achiness, your fragility. And we each have many sides to ourselves. Not only the physical sides, our edges, but also different parts to us, different personalities, different ways we move through the world. So we're going to start to move into our side body poses. We're going to start with the right side, which is considered more yang, masculine, fire, summer. We'll take a rebound and then we'll move to our left side, so that you can notice the difference between your sides. Really pay attention to the edges of your body. So we're going to start with a stretch to your right side, your banana pose. You can stay lying on your back. You can wiggle your fingers and toes. Reach your arms up overhead. Good. And then you're going to walk your right foot over toward the left foot, keeping your right sitting bone on the earth, your right shoulder grounded as much as possible. And then just start to wiggle your upper body around toward the right, toward the feet as well, toward the left. So as you wiggle your upper body around, you're making a C shape with your entire body. Some of you might choose to cross your ankles. Some of you might choose to cross the wrists or interlace the fingers. So what you do with your arms, your feet, up to you. As long as you're feeling a sensation through the right side, through your right hip, into the space of your lower back, through the side of your torso, maybe into the armpit, through the right arm and shoulder. If you're feeling it there, you're doing it right. If you're not sure, call me over. You have 3 whole minutes in the pose. On the right side, as I said, considered to be more yang in energy. Yang is to engage, to harden, to push, to strive, to try. Yang thinks with the head. Yang is birth. The right side and our left side get out of balance. And by paying attention, we're trying to bring ourselves back into balance. About 30 seconds left in the pose. Good. Slowly start to wiggle yourself out. Come back to the center of your mat. You might notice some achy, tender, sore spots, especially around your lower back. So as you come back to neutral, if your lower back is cranky, you're welcome to bend up the knees. You have a minute in between sides to rest and to digest. And gradually start to reawaken small movements to your fingers, toes. As you start to move to the second side of your banana pose, please know that you don't have to practice the same. So if something didn't go well on the first side, make a change. Add a blanket under the shoulder if it's raised. Maybe don't move quite all the way around. So as you start to wiggle, move your left foot toward the right. Arms are up overhead. And you're starting to move your body over and across toward the feet. So you want to try and keep your left sitting bone and left shoulder grounded toward the earth, but they don't have to be touching. Again, in the pose, you're welcome to cross your ankles or your wrists. And consciously creating space through your left side body. The meridian pathway that runs along the lateral sides of us is the gallbladder pathway. We started with our rolling to stimulate or wake up this pathway channel. And the gallbladder is all about releasing toxins, working in tandem with your liver. We are entering the final minute of the pose. Again, an opportunity to go a little deeper or pull back if you've come too far. The left side of our body is considered to be more yin. Yin is to relax. Yin is to soften. Yin is to release, to yield, to surrender, to accept, and to be. Yin feels with the heart. You can slowly start to wiggle yourself back to the middle, back to the center. Bring your hands back down beside you. Again, bend up your knees or slide a bolster under back of knees if the lower back feels sore. Just take a break between sides so that you can come back to the middle, come back to neutral. Encouraging everything to return to balance in the center of your body. Take about 3 or 4 more breaths. And then when you're ready, wiggle fingers and toes. And stretch your arms up overhead. You might want to bend up your knees. Get you to roll onto your left side. We're going to set up for another side bend, your mermaid pose. So as you come over onto your left side, just double stack the knees. So right is on top of left and knees are bent, and press yourself up away from the earth. You're going to grab your yoga bolster and just bring it next to you. So it's crossways, across the mat. You'll reach your left arm out in front, land your chest, left side onto the bolster, and let your head come down onto your arm. You might want to rest your head into hand or onto a block. So in order to feel more through your right side, you could reach the right arm up and over as a lever. You could also slide the right foot behind your left, making more of a 90-90 shape with your legs to your pose. And that might bring the attention to the lower back more. You could even roll to face up. If the top arm, the right hand, is too heavy, maybe rest it onto a block or onto a part of your body so that it doesn't feel quite so intense. And again, paying attention to your edges. So your right hip and your right lower back is where you want to feel this pose. Please give me a wave if you're not sure. If you're newer to the practice and you need some assistance, I'll come and assist you. No, you bend your knees, sweetie. Yeah, slide this foot behind and bring this arm overhead. Oh, yeah, we can bring it forward even. That might bring some sensation. Where are you feeling it? Point to me. Yep, perfect. You're doing it. Where are you going here? Where are you feeling it? Oh, sure. Not sure where you're feeling it? Can't point to me. Yep, that's good. Try bending the bottom knee. No, other way, back. That's it. Pull the heel towards your butt more. Heel to, like, so you're making, yeah. More or less, better, worse. Where are you feeling it? More, less, better, worse. Yep, so what I'm going to get you to do is slide further up onto the bolster. Take this out. You're a bit crammed. You might want to wriggle down a bit too. There you go. Now try. Yep. Bending the knees. Yep. More, less, nothing. Yep, that's exactly where I want you to feel it. But remember, the knees are more of a zigzag. Bending on the, yes. And you can bring the feet in. Yes. It's actually the other knee forward. Change. Yes. Now. Okay. More, less. Yep. Do you want something under the head? Yep. Okay. Just about a minute left.
If your right arm is up above your head, gently float it back down beside you. And you can restack the knees, lift up onto your left palm for a moment, moving the bolster out of the way, off to the side, and then coming to lie down into your neutral position. You're welcome to lie on your belly or your back for rebound. Just trying to find the path of least resistance, least disturbance to yourself and to others as you come out and move around. And then coming back into that more neutral place and space. It's normal for the spine to feel achy. It's normal for your body to feel stiff and sore. And the sensations will change. Over time, they may fade or become more intense. You can wiggle fingers and toes. Take a little stretch or a bending up of knees. And you can roll onto your right side. We're going to set up the mermaid stretch on the second side. So we'll target your left hip now. So as you roll onto the right side, just stack left knee on top of right. Bring the bolster in nice and close. So as you reach your right arm out long, you can rest your chest and rib cage onto the bolster. You could rest your right ear onto your shoulder or cup it into your hand or onto a block. And then to add a little more zest, left arm above you, maybe in front of you, maybe on a block. You can slide the left knee behind the right foot and make that zigzag shape to get a little more attention into the space of your lower back. And again, the second side doesn't have to be practiced the same as the first. You might spend some time observing the difference between how your body reacted and responded, right and left. You have about 2 minutes to go in your mermaid pose.
Just your final 40 seconds. Your left arm is up overhead. You can bring it back down slowly beside your body. Just start to plan your exit out of the shape. You can push into the right hand or left hand to lift up. I'm going to encourage you to come to lie on your back for rebound because our final few poses will take place from here. And if you could move the bolster to the left-hand side as you come to lie down, we'll just save a little bit of movement as we progress. Come back into a more neutral place and space. Let your body relax. Feel the earth holding your head, your shoulders. Feel the space of your lower back sinking and softening down into the mat as your belly softens. Tension pours out. And we can use this time to prepare our bodies for sleep, to help our nervous systems to unplug, to create a sense of safety, calm, support. Bring yourself back to life gradually, small movements to your fingers and your toes. If you want to stretch, do that. I invite you to gather your right knee and hug it in toward your chest. You're welcome to make a few circles around with the ankle or into the hip socket. Before you start to roll onto your left side, carrying the right bent knee over and across your body, you might place it onto the bolster that you've prepared, or you might bring the bolster between your legs, almost hugging it. Your arms can come out wide in a T shape. Totally fine if your right shoulder is floating. You might choose to bend up both knees. You might choose to wrap the legs. But I want you to feel the action of the twist into your belly, your obliques, and into your spine. Twisting, such a great way to unravel, to release tension, but also to continue to access the edges. So as you come into your spinal twist, I encourage you to breathe really deeply and slowly to nourish the space of your abdomen. But also see if you can fill up your lungs completely. And the breath, one of our best tools to calm the nervous system. You have 2 minutes left in your twist. And your final 40 seconds now. And slowly roll back to the middle. You're welcome to move the bolster now if you used it, or after the rebound, you can decide. And just rest in the center for a minute, neutral, soft. The rebound reminds us to slow down, that we don't always need to be busy. We don't always need to be striving, achieving. It's often in the still and quiet where healing happens. And bringing your body back to life gradually, a little wiggle of your fingers and toes. You can stretch up overhead or hug your knees in. We'll come to the spinal twist on the second side. So if you want to move your bolster across, you can. You're going to hug your left knee in toward your body. You might want to make some circles into the ankle or your hip. And then you can gradually coax yourself over onto your right side, carrying that left thigh over and across, maybe placing it onto a bolster or hugging a bolster between your legs. You can take your arms out alongside of you, out wide, overhead. What you do with your arms is up to you. You might choose to bend up both knees or wrap your legs. But you want to feel the twist through your belly and into your spine, also through the edges of your body. You have 3 whole minutes. Entering your final minute of the twist, is the body inviting you deeper, or do you need to pull back some? Roll out really gradually. Come back to the center. Find a comfortable position for your Shavasana. You're welcome to slide a bolster under back of knees. Maybe place a blanket over your body. You might want to cover your eyes. If you need anything, please give me a wave. If you would like to elevate your feet a little, you might want to send them to the bolster or to a wall. Legs up the wall can be a good pose for insomnia, anxiety, especially for those of you at home if you've got space or the inclination. Allow yourself to spread out, stretch out, take up space. The ground to hold you, catch you, and your whole body to soften as you absorb the practice of yoga. Your Shavasana.
And you can begin to gradually deepen your breath. Start to bring some small movement back, a wiggle of your fingers and your toes. As you reawaken, it might feel good to stretch arms up above you. And just remember this feeling of being quite calm, sedated, relaxed. Take it with you into the rest of your night. You can roll onto your favorite side, letting your head rest into your arm with knees bent. And just honoring all of the sides of you. The black, the white, the good, the dark. The introverted, the extrovert. All of the parts of you that make you purna, full, whole, and complete. The parts you show the world, the parts that you don't. Parts that are private, the parts that are exposed. We are complicated, we are fragile. We are all doing the best that we can. You can make your way back to a comfortable seat. Eyes can remain closed. When you arrive, bring your hands together in front of your heart, Anjali Mudra. As you press the right and left palms together in the center of your chest. An opportunity one last time to bring yourself back into balance, into center. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let there be peace unto ourselves and to each other. Namaste. Thank you, beautiful yogis. Blessings and light. I hope you all feel better than when you came in. That is the purpose. Take your time to pack up. There's no rush. And if you could help me just by following